Hello everybody, and welcome to another episode of DOD45. I am Tai of ArtByTai, and today I sit down with mural artist Kiptoe. We have a nice conversation where he discusses how he moved out to Los Angeles in his early 20s as part of a personal humbling journey where he had to live out of his car and work as a dishwasher to make ends meet. We briefly touch on his college years and his time as the school mascot. We hear about him being on the swim team in high school. Kiptoe also mentions an idea that he's had for a semi-autobiographical TV series that he'd like to make in the near future. And of course, we chat about what it's like to be a muralist traveling around the world. I first discovered Kiptoe's work a few years ago through an animated mural video that was circulating the interwebs. A really clever mural and video he made while in Grenoble, France, as part of the Street Art Fest.
You see, oh, that's a cute little birdie. Whoa, jeez.
Able to see that mural in person when I was there for my solo gallery show, I Am Animal, back in February 2019, through the gallery that also organizes the Street Art Festival. It was awesome to see the mural in person. Anyway, I'll let Kiptoe discuss all of that. So without further ado, let us get to Kiptoe. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me.
Where are you at? Are you in Los Angeles?
I'm in Joshua Tree.
Oh, awesome. Is it like 148 degrees over there?
Yeah, pretty hot.
Before we start the drawing, I wanted to check in with you. Were you able to get out and do painting and stuff during the pandemic, or did that sort of slow you down?
I don't know. I had a couple weird things going on, like right when the pandemic hit. I had to like move a couple times, and I ended up out here, and then I was kind of like trying to find my footing again in my new house, my new location. And then I ended up getting a couple really awesome gigs in Seattle and Giddings, Texas in like September, October. So I was able to go out and do some murals that were like really, really fun. And I got to, go out and do my thing and get out of the house and get out of the state a little bit. And yeah, so I was able to do that. And
What time of the year? When did you end up going out to Seattle? Like, were you out at Seattle when Seattle was just getting like?
I went out there like the worst possible time. It was like September when there was like fire and smoke everywhere and everything was closed down. And but they really wanted my work. It was like at a weed shop called Kush 21, and it was like near SeaTac Airport. And they really wanted my work. And I started with like a small little Bob Marley and Jimi Hendrix wall, and then as I was going halfway through, they're like, oh, let's do this other big wall right next to it. So I did like a big Bruce Lee wall right next to it. They had guys come with stucco and get it all smooth because it was all like ridges. And it was kind of a crazy time. All this all this work crammed into like a week and a half or whatever.
Yeah, that's awesome. Before you start a piece, do you have it somewhat sketched out or planned out?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, most of the time.
when they wanted to add on all the other stuff, do you need a moment to
Yeah, I gotta like regroup and go to my happy place and draw some stuff and like not talk to anyone for a while, you know?
yeah, yeah.
Um, like if I'm like coming up with a piece, like sometimes it takes me a long time to come up with a concept and like I need to be in a quiet place where no one talks to me
Yeah.
and then I can like fully come up with something cool. I'm not very good at coming up with stuff on the spot. Like I like to have it all nice and composed and have like, you know, have it look good and there's like maybe like a story to it or deeper meaning. And
It's a little more difficult to just like write out, right when someone wants something to try to have something with some meaning to it. I mean, maybe you could create something that you've already done before, but yeah, it definitely makes a difference when you get some time to yourself to sort of
yeah.
concept things out. Well, awesome. So you you made it out of the pandemic, all right, and everything.
Yeah, still kicking.
Yeah.
You know, us artists, we're kind of like quarantining ourselves every day anyways. Like so it's not like that wasn't like a huge shift,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
but it was definitely different just not being able to do stuff as a person.
Yeah, getting out and like being around people. Yeah, that's definitely. Even though you're like, well, I don't know. For you, for me, I'm not very social, but once I do get out with people, then I find that I tend to be a little more social than I imagine I actually am.
Yeah, same.
I'm gonna draw a griffin, or I'm at least gonna attempt to. Um,
Oh yeah.
it is weird. It is sort of a strange drawing for another visual artist, but we'll just go for it.
Don't judge, man. I'm excited to see it. I'm not much of a pen and ink guy, so I'll be excited to see what you come up with.
So my first question to you is gonna be Montana Gold or Montana Black?
Actually, most of the from the German line, I actually use the black the most.
Well, how about Montana 94, Montana Hardcore?
94.
What about Joe Montana or Joe Dirt?
Good old Joe Dirt.
Billings, Montana or Bozeman, Montana?
Um, Bozeman. Never even heard of either of those places.
Have you never been to Montana?
Mm-mm.
So where are you from originally?
I grew up in New Hampshire.
And now you're in.
Now I'm in the greater Los Angeles area. And yeah, I moved to LA like what is it? New Year's Day, 2015. And yeah, I just kind of moved across the country on a whim, and I knew I needed to go to either like New York or LA, and I ended up picking LA because I always had these big hard eyes for LA, and I wanted to go to the warm weather and sunny opportunities and movie town and all that stuff. And so I just kind of drove across country one day and took a badass road trip and packed up all my stuff in my car and slept in my car along the way. And then when I got there to LA, I just kind of didn't know anybody or didn't have any opportunities or anything or any jobs lined up or nothing. So just continued to sleep in my car and got a job washing dishes, which is like one of the worst jobs of all time. And it's like sleeping in my car on the side of the road and trying to find walls to paint during the day. And 6 months later goes by, I got my first couple Kiptoe walls banging out in LA. I got one on the back of Circus Liquor in North Hollywood, and then I had one in Midtown on like the side of like an auto body shop. And about that time, I figured might be a good time to finally get a place to live. So I got this room for rent with this old Colombian dude, and his name was I won't say his name, but he was nice. But I like as soon as I moved in, I like instantly regretted it. I'm like, oh man, this isn't cool. Like,
Was it worse than living in the car though?
not really. It's kind of weird because like I started to get really comfortable in my car, you know, and I had everything I needed, and I wasn't paying rent, so I could like I don't know, saving all this money, but also like kind of being a shithead. And I was like, I didn't move out here, live out of my car. So I was like, you know, let's get a place. And I was able to like, I found an easel on the side of the road at Venice, and still, grabbed that, managed to squeeze it in my little Camry, and found a bunch of cool stuff. You find so many stuff on the side of the road in LA. Like you can, I like furnished my whole room with free shit on the side of the road. uh, but yeah, and then 6 months after that, living with the Colombian dude, I ended up finding like a cool apartment on Craigslist, and that was it. I was there for like five years, and like the coolest place to live. It was super cheap, like the cheapest spot in LA. Two other guys, a 3 bedroom, and each roommate that like replaced themselves was even cooler than the last dude. Like, like the apartment just like attracted all these cool guys, and I ended up like by the third roommate, I ended up collaborating with that guy. He was a passionate filmmaker as well, and I grew up making movies and doing action movies and Mission Impossible fan films and stuff. And I ended up collaborating with this guy. We became really good friends, and we were living together, so we had all this time to think about these cool ideas. We ended up coming up with this short film idea, Kiptoe versus Robot, and it's like when the government put these robots in charge of painting over all the artwork in town, and I'm out there doing my thing, trying to save my livelihood. And the robot spots me on one of the cameras. He comes out there, he attacks me, he throws me aside, he paints over all the work I had just done. And we get into a big fight. We're going back and forth, trying to paint over each other, and we're getting into fist fights. I'm flipping over. He's like pushing me out of the way. And we did all these crazy action stunts, and we built this robot suit from scratch. And, it took us like 3 months to make this robot suit, and got
That
this sick location, and
that
spent,
video isn't there a video on YouTube or something of you guys making the robot
yeah,
suit? Yeah,
yeah,
that suit was awesome.
yeah, thanks.
Was that something that you already like you knew how to do, or like because like that
No, it was our
suit is
first
really
time. We
awesome.
just we just like YouTubed, cosplay stuff and figured it out as we went. And I came up with a couple different like concept renderings, but when you're on like a no budget, it's not like you can really follow your drawings because you can't like build whatever you want. You're kind of limited by your budget and your skills and like the materials that you have access to. So we just kind of like flew by the seat of our pants with the build and making stuff up as we went, and it was like so much fun. Like I would build something, and then I would be away, and he would build something, and then we build something together, and it's totally collaborative, and uh, it's like the most fun project I've ever done. I can't wait to do another one, and I want to come up with another cool short film idea or like a TV series about my life. And like I'm really inspired by the FX show Dave with Lil Dicky.
Oh, I haven't watched it yet. It looks awesome though. I love
Yeah,
even the ads for it look awesome.
yeah, yeah. The first season was really, really good and really compelling, and like the storytelling was great. It's like there's a lot of humility and vulnerability and comedy, and it's just super cool. And I was like, fuck, man, I could make a sick ass TV show about my life with all the cool stuff that I do with the mural painting and like traveling and meeting all these people and all these funny coincidences that happen at the wall. And like, my YouTube channel showcases the artwork, but I'd love to make a TV show about everything else besides the artwork, and have the artwork be like, the little cherry on top, but like all the stuff that leads up to the wall and stuff that happens while I'm painting and interacting with people on the street, or when I'm traveling, or all the hardships that you have to go through when you're painting. I think would make for a really cool show.
I
And
agree.
like a not like a stupid reality show. I'm talking about like a scripted like dramedy kind of show where it's artsy and beautiful and thought out and well written and has like cool characters and
But not documentary style, but kind of biographical, right? But you mean like a dramatic
yeah,
series?
like a dramatic reinterpretation of my life,
Yeah.
um, in like a semi-autobiographical way.
So,
It's
but
scripted.
you're in the movies, right?
Oh yeah.
When you first made that choice to go out to Los Angeles, was that to go out and pursue your artistic abilities, or were you wanting to get out there and get involved in the movie industry?
I was I mean, at first it was for the art stuff, but as soon as I moved out there, like all my movie making blood started pumping again. I was like, oh, I gotta make something, you know? And now they're kind of like mashing together again, and I'm like getting even more obsessed with movies again. But you know, I got my art career going, so kind of like a balancing act of what I really want and trying to mesh them together.
What were the
That's why I
movies?
like making the videos so much.
What were the movies that you were watching growing up that got you into movies?
Like Die Hard, Mission
Yes.
Impossible, you know, those kind of movies is what I grew up on. Like I love the action adventure stuff.
What's
But
the
now, like as I'm getting older, I'm more interested in like the personal pieces and like you know, comedy drama, and kind of leaning more in that direction.
you went to Dartmouth, right?
And not the Dartmouth. I went to a school called UMass Dartmouth.
Oh, what's your guy? I thought that what's the? Did you guys have a mascot? Because you were the mascot, right?
Yeah, I was on the swim team for 2 years, and then I quit, and I became the mascot. I joined the mascot crew.
What
It's
is the
like a
mascot?
it's like a big blue and gold pirate.
Okay, I gotta change this because I was trying to do Keggy the keg.
Oh, okay.
Maybe I'll blow him up. What was what?
You can look him up on Google. It's Arnie the Corsair.
The
Yeah,
Corsair.
that was like the coolest job as a college student you could ever get. It's $10 an hour to fuck around in a mascot suit, and
Oh, I didn't even real they so you get paid to do the
sometimes, you know, it depends on the school. Like a lot of the D1, a lot of those D1 guys don't get paid. Like it's like an athletic thing, you know. But we were getting paid. We're a D3 school, and we are just there was like a budget for it, so we got paid, and it was like three guys, so we would alternate. So one guy would be in the suit, one guy would be a handler, the other guy would take the day off, and
and that was in
yeah,
your was
just
that was
rotate.
in your area, that school? I don't know the
It's
area.
in Massachusetts,
So did you have to leave to go, like were you
just 2 hours away from my home where I grew up.
did you stay in the dorms there or were you
Yeah, I was in the dorms. Yeah.
so you knew how to live with other people already? I'm just thinking about this staying with this Colombian guy. I won't keep going back to him, but I was just thinking
Uh,
about
no, I mean, I shared a room with my brother my whole life growing up, and it was almost like having a roommate already. And then when I got to college, I was really pumped to have a roommate again because my brother moved away to college for like the last 2 years because he's 2 years older than me. So, you know, I was pumped to have a roommate again in college. Um, yeah, the Colombian dude was just like a downer because I was like a 23-year-old kid hyped up on LA, and then I had to live with like this old grandpa.
so how long did you say you were living out of your car for? Six months or something like that? Or
Yeah, 6 months.
how,
First week, first few weeks in LA, I would shower once a week on Fridays at Venice Beach.
how old were you when you
Uh,
did that?
I was like 23.
Where did that come from? Like that's not everybody can just pull that off, you know, like just I'm just gonna take off. Like is that something that you grew like something you thought you maybe got from when you were a kid? Or
I don't know.
like
I
where does
was I was just like it's like a do or die for me, and you know, I was I wanted to humble myself really hard, like sleep in my car, wash dishes, paint murals. Like I didn't want to take the easy way, and I knew if I started at the absolute bottom, then I would be able to skyrocket really fast. And I can think I just wanted to humble myself
yeah.
a little bit.
Was it always Kiptoe? Like were you a tagger or anything before?
Yeah, I was like 16, 17. Um, in high school, I'd go out and bomb, but I didn't like have a name, where I wasn't trying to make a name for myself in the graph world. I was just vandalizing stuff.
Yeah.
And I'd do it with a buddy of mine, and we would change what we would write every single night. We'd go out and just write stupid stuff and draw up pictures. And um, so it wasn't like I wasn't like you know, and I was never good at letters anyways.
Right. You didn't have a wild style kind of background at all.
No, I would just do like throw ups and bubble letters and stuff.
Is that where you got your can control then? Just going out with that guy and messing around?
I guess a little bit, yeah. And then I would also mix that with like those, like, you know, those like space paintings you see with the cups and the plates and stuff.
Oh, yeah. Do you do that?
I used to in high school, yeah,
Like
for a few
guys like
years.
you'll be out on the like in Vegas or
That's,
something.
yeah, it's like how I made. That's like how I made about half of my money as a teenager. I would sell those paintings to my friends, and I'd go to little events and paint or whatever. And yeah, I made a good chunk of change for a teenager doing that stuff.
Yeah, and
Um,
then that sort of leads you off. Like you go, oh wow, you can make money creating.
yeah, yeah.
Was that
I mean,
something that you knew before, like you can make money making artwork, or did you learn that from when you? Because didn't you go to school for like a Bachelor of Arts?
yeah, I got a bachelor's in illustration. And like for me, it wasn't a question of like if I can make money. It was a question of like how and when.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Do you learn that in art school? Do they teach you that?
no, they teach you how to like they teach you how to paint a picture. They don't teach you how to be an artist.
Right, right.
Very different.
Yeah, I get asked that quite a bit, like from some of my younger collectors, because I wasn't able to go to school because I couldn't afford it. But I always tell them, I say, I wish I did go to school. I mean, I would have liked to learn some oil techniques and stuff that took me forever to figure out. But
I don't know. I learned way more after school than I did in school.
yeah,
It's like the real world experience is pretty undeniably like helpful.
yeah,
Trial and error, failing hard and then doing better the next time. And um like I didn't even really make any art friends in college. I don't really talk to any of those guys that much anymore or at all.
were
And
you an
the
art?
only friends I made were like on the swim team.
Yeah, swim team. Yeah, can you? Are you still a really good swimmer? I mean, I guess it doesn't go away, right?
I mean, yeah, I can throw down. I'm pretty out of shape right now for sure. Like, but I'll beat anyone in a race.
Yeah, swimming was not my thing. I mean, I can float around and swim, but I'm an
Yeah,
awful swimmer.
yeah. I don't know. I was just naturally really good at it, and I tried out for the high school team as a freshman. I wanted to be a hockey player like my dad. I would play street hockey as in eighth grade, like every day after school. In my driveway, I'd like throw the puck around and the ball and roller skates and shoot it into the net. But just like by myself, I'd just be doing drills and stuff. I didn't have actually any real hockey experience. And I thought like, oh, if I just practice this enough, I'll be able to make the ice hockey team. I don't know what I was thinking.
What
And I
did you
went
grow up
to
with the swimming pool?
yeah, I think when I was like 13, we got a backyard pool, and that's how I learned to swim.
Do you
And my
think that
dad
people? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
my dad was always a pretty good swimmer, and he taught us how to swim, and I guess I got it from him. And uh yeah, when high
Um,
school came around, I was like, I don't think I'm destined to be a hockey player. I don't know what I'm talking about. And tried out for the swim team, and I was still really bad. I was like the worst on the team because like competitive swimming is way different than like just swimming in a backyard pool a couple laps. But like coach, got me on the team, and then I like pushed myself really hard, and I got really really good. And by the end, I was like second in the state for breaststroke,
oh, awesome.
breaststroker.
I wonder. I have some friends that were on the swim team, but do you find the better swimmers on the team are the ones that had swimming pools when they were growing up?
I don't know. A lot of kids like grew up competitively swimming in like real swimming pools, and I was like up against all these kids who've been like swimming since they were like 7 years old, like on a team, and I didn't have any of that. So I was like coming in cold. But um, it's crazy because my best friend who I met in college on the swim team, he's one of those kids that have been swimming his whole life since he was like 7 years old on a team, swim pool, everything. And then I only started in high school, and I was just faster than him. I don't know why.
Well, natural talent.
Yeah, just like naturally a little bit quicker. It's just like some people are just born to be faster, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, let me throw some a few Sophie's choices at you. How about Doctor Strange or Doctor Seuss?
Doctor Strange.
Yeah, you're in the comics, right?
Yeah. Huge Marvel nerd.
Yeah. When I thought that you had gone to Dartmouth, Doctor Seuss is a Dartmouth alumni. So,
Oh.
but
Yeah.
I did read that you were a comic book fan. So that one
Yeah.
can work either way. What about Fred Rogers or Fred Armisen?
I'm embarrassed to not know either of those
Oh,
guys.
really? Well, Fred Rogers is Mr. Rogers,
Oh.
and Fred Armisen is in the he's a comedian. He's in that show in Portlandia. Do you ever watch that at all?
Oh yeah, I've seen that like a couple times.
Yeah.
Funny show.
Yeah, he's a pretty funny guy.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, I'll choose that guy.
how about yeah? How about Rustoleum or Liam Neeson?
I like that. I'll choose Liam Neeson all day.
Yeah. Oh, because I know you said that you started off with the action movies, and then started to grow into the other ones. But you're still an action movie fan, I would imagine.
Yeah. I feel like action movies these days are, I don't know, they're different and they're like, there's been so many that like they're often pretty redundant.
Yeah.
It's like, every action movie tends to be quite similar and it starts to lose its taste. I think that's why I'm starting to shift towards more like human, personal stories. But I'll watch the Marvel Universe all day long.
Yeah,
So
because
good.
they're really good.
Yeah.
Do you use Rustoleum at all?
Nah, not really.
Not really. Yeah.
Unless I'm like painting a chair or something.
Right. That's all it's good for.
Yeah.
I saw that you were recently doing a mural in Amarillo. I guess that was kind of recent, right?
Yeah, it was in
And
March.
you hit up the Cadillac Ranch. Had you seen Cadillac Ranch before?
Nah. Well, I seen it I knew about it.
Right.
But I'd never been there.
How long just like for reference for anyone, you did every car there. I mean, we've been going through Amarillo for years because we're on the road about 9 months out of the year, and we travel through there all the time. But I have never seen anyone take the time to do every car in a whole conceptual piece.
Yeah.
I don't.
I only did the last 4.
Oh, was it? Yeah, because what are
Yeah.
there, 8 or 9 or something?
10.
Yeah. Well, it was awesome. How long?
I only had 2 hours before I had to catch my flight, and like we were running super late, and I had all these extras, and I was like, let's go slam this this little Cadillac Ranch real quick. And I didn't think of a concept until like 2 seconds before I got there, and I was like, oh, I'll do like a dragon going up and down, like you see those playgrounds with like the tire dragons when they go in and out of the ground. I was like, I'm gonna kind of do something like that with the cars, and it came out pretty cool.
Hey, I thought it was awesome. And
Yeah.
I mean, the piece that you did, I guess that was on a brewery that you were in town for. It's the
It was like they do like micheladas and daiquiris to go.
Yeah, it was awesome. Really awesome piece.
Yeah, thanks. Those guys are fucking cool, man. They showed me such a good time, and I did all sorts of awesome Texas things in Amarillo, and we really balled out that entire weekend. I got there on like Friday night, and then I couldn't paint until Sunday because they closed on Sunday and half of Monday, so I only had a day and a half to paint the wall. But we balled out Friday night, all Saturday night. Had a great painting day Sunday, and finished up Monday, and then went for a badass hike Monday afternoon.
Before you go into a piece, do you know how many days or stuff you're gonna have to work on a mural? Usually, will you go into it knowing?
Yeah, most of the time I have like a bunch of days blocked out because I'm traveling, so I have to kind of like pick my flights and then like figure out how many days I need for the wall, maybe a day or two to have fun, and yeah. So
will you base the work on that, like how much detail you're going to be able to do in a piece, or does that...
Yeah, totally. Because these guys only had a day and a half for me to paint, so I was like, all right, it's got to be pretty simple, but also like explosive and energetic. And I also, I paint really fast, so it's not usually a problem for me. And if I have like a concept locked in, I'm just executing at that point. I'm not really thinking about it. Um, so
Yeah, well, you're damn good at it. What are, do you
thanks.
are you do you are you I always wonder because I don't know what to say. Like, is it muralist or a graffiti artist, or does it even matter? Is there a problem?
No, I don't like to call myself a graffiti artist because the graffiti artists get mad when you say that. And
What is the? Is it the what? Can you uh?
like graffiti artist is like I would consider a graffiti artist someone who's practices the letter form.
Oh, okay.
Um, and who, graffiti writer is someone who does the letter form illegally,
Right.
usually. They'll do legal stuff too, but they're mostly focused on illegal stuff, like the pure form of graffiti.
Mm-hmm.
Graffiti artists will dabble in like, maybe they'll do characters too, or they'll do letters and they'll do walls and stuff like that. And then what I do, I call myself a mural artist because, I don't do letters and I do mostly conceptual based images, and most of it is commission work, and I'm a full-time artist. So like, I'm at this point in my career, like I'm not trying to do illegal stuff and
Right.
ruin what I built. And I'm just not interested. And also I don't even have the time anyways. So, um, I like what I do now. And
Yeah. Do you
yeah.
have an opinion on the on the whole thing that's going on with like Jeff Soto and Mercedes and them using the murals in their commercials?
Like without permission and stuff.
Yeah, and I mean I know there's a lawsuit with a
There was
couple of.
one. There was one with H&M with uh, Reebok. Um,
Do you have a
they like
position on that at all?
yeah. I mean, of course, as an artist, I want people to at least get permission to use their work. It's I see where they were coming from because it was like an unsanctioned piece of art on the wall where they were photographing, and so like the person who you know owned the wall didn't even know who did it.
Mm-hmm.
So of course it's going to be tough to reach out to the artist when they don't even know who did it.
Right.
So that's kind of like logistically, I see why it started like that in the first place. But from an artist standpoint, the way that they handled it was pretty shitty. Um, like they could have, like when Reebok reached out to them and said to like cease and desist, stop using my work and your promotional material, they kind of like were assholes about it and blew
Right.
back at him and said like, well, it's illegal and we can use it however we want because it's not like a real piece of work and all this stuff, and like it, copyright doesn't exist if it's illegal, which is untrue. And they kind of handled it like assholes. So in that regard, you know, screw them.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I guess I agree on that. I mean, I don't really have a huge opinion on it. I did see I mean that I've seen cases like that happening. I thought maybe Mercedes tried to like counter sue or some shit. I don't know. When companies start doing that shit, it's stupid.
Yeah, I don't know what happened with the Jeff Soto Mercedes one. I just know about H&M, but
Yeah.
yeah, I'm sure it's happening to more people.
How about Iron Lack or Iron Man?
I painted with Iron Lack in Miami. I didn't like it, so I'll go Iron Man.
Was that the first time you ever used it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to paint
It's
with it
like
all the
it's
time.
gloss, it's kind of high pressure, like I couldn't control it as much. The colors were just like kind of basic, and yeah.
Yeah, like
Okay.
10, 15 years ago. That's what I painted with, and I hated it. But it was like the only thing I had access to.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
It's
it
not
was
my
like
favorite.
super sticky and like
Yeah, it's
so
stinky, super
gummy.
stinky.
Yeah, oh yeah, the smell of it was awful.
Yeah.
Yeah, our studio always smelled
I'm
like
I'm I got like a semi sponsorship from this new company called Dang.
I seen those cans. Those
And
are awesome.
yeah, they're pretty good. I'm still getting used to the color palette. I used 94 for so long. I was like starting to get like a real grip on the palette and the cans that I used, and then like shifting over to these guys, like I probably shouldn't bash on them, so I'll skip what I was about to say.
Oh,
Well,
but go ahead.
you do use like a lot of the same color palette
Yeah.
over. So I imagine if somebody wants you to sponsor you, they should probably add some colors that you normally use.
Yeah, their turquoises are a little too on the blue side. They're not really turquoise. It's kind of frustrating.
When you say as a sponsorship too, like does that include like you getting free cans to do a piece and stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I put it in the video, and
I mean, I guess if you're doing a commission piece though, cans that's in the budget or something, you know. I don't know much about how muraling works, but
yeah, me neither. I just go.
you just go do it.
You don't go get grants.
No, that's too much work and bureaucracy. I don't want to deal with that shit. I'll
Yeah.
let someone else do it, and then like if they want to have me on board, like as the artist, I'll do that. Like actually, been connecting with a couple people who like reach out to me for that exact reason. They have a wall they want to do, and they'll set up all the bureaucracy stuff because it's their job, and they're the ones who get the grants for the art, and then they'll reach out to me to do the work, which is like a-okay with me because I hate dealing with all that bureaucracy crap.
Yeah.
I did
So
that when I was younger, and I don't trying to do that anymore.
When you did the European tour, was that just on your own dime and you were just went out painting, or?
Yeah, so it kind of happened because the Kiptoe vs. Robot movie I talked about. I went out there. I finished it like just in time, like the week before I left, and I had a couple cool videos to showcase at the Grenoble Street Art Fest in Grenoble, France, and they do like this outdoor graffiti movie fest where they showcase, movies and documentaries and videos and short form content about what we do. And I had a couple projects in there. I had like a stop motion animation that I did, and
Can I ask you about that? So that stop motion video, I went and saw where it was when I was there. That's when I first reached out to you because I had a show playing, or I had a solo show in Grenoble at Jerome. My work showing there, and I went to have a lunch with I can't remember the guy's name. You stayed with him though while you were there.
Oh yeah, Nemanja.
Yeah. But
what a cool dude.
How did that? Was that the animations, like the animation piece? Was that something you knew you were going to do? Was that something you'd already seen before? Did you come up with that, or how did that come out? Because this is so awesome.
Well, that was. So I did my first stop motion animation with painting on the street was like on a little one of those utility boxes next to the stoplights.
That was the hand one, or wasn't it?
The hand and the doves, and then like the face and the warrior and stuff. Like I did that all in 2 days, and it was all improv. Like I was just making it up as I went. And it was really fun, and it came out cool, and I wanted to try it again. And obviously, like I'm influenced by Blue, who did these, famous, insane, 11-minute long stop motion stuff all over. I think it was Buenos Aires, and just absolutely insane. And I wanted to get my feet wet with that stuff. And when they invited me to Grenoble to showcase my movies, I was like, well, I'm going there. Can I paint a wall at least when I'm there? And they didn't really have like a big wall for me to paint, but they were like, well, we got this last minute, 3 doors on this corner of the street if you want that. And I'm like, sure, I'll take it. Looking to get anything I could get. And it wasn't like a big wall, so I was like, well, what can I do with this space to make it worth my while I'm there? Like, well, I'm showing my animation. Why don't I make another animation while I'm there? It'll be like, serendipitous or whatever. And so I sat down, I kind of thumbnailed out some ideas, and then I started to make a rough storyboard of what I wanted. And because this one, I didn't want to do improv because it's way bigger than a little street box. And so I thumbnailed out the storyboard, and I was like, oh, I'll do like this guy, Archer. He's like shooting a bird, and then he eats the bird, and the bird bursts out of his stomach and like takes revenge, and this skeleton comes out of the ground bird just blew out of, and then they get into a big fight, and I'm like, oh, this will be fun. And there's like a story to it, and there's like, you know, a back and forth, and it's like an easy way to make it interactive and entertaining.
It's so awesome. How long did that whole animation take you?
That was 5 days of back-to-back painting.
And
sometimes I had to wait like half a day for the sun to move in a certain direction, or I had to like, you know, jump ahead of the animation because the sun was in a certain position. So I had to like do like the, you know, the part 4 out of 5 over here before I even finished part 3, and then edited together all at the end in post-production. So it all was, you know, continuous. But when it's funny because I was on the street and, you know, I had a white background and I had to, you know, do it and then white it out here and then take a picture, go again, white out the back, step back, take a picture, white it out. So when people would walk by in the morning and they'd walk by again at night, they're like, it's all white again. You haven't done anything all day? And I'm like, you don't even know.
Did you work when you did that? Were you working backwards? Like, did you know did you first design out what the finished piece was gonna be and then do the story, or did you do a story and then the finished piece was what it was?
Yeah, the latter. I knew I wanted the whole thing to burst into a cool mural at the end, and the end mural I kind of freestyled. That was like the only thing I improv'd, and it's like one of my most popular paintings to this day.
It's, I mean, yeah, good. It's like, I think I saw it before, probably right after you did it. That was the first time I think that was the first time I had discovered your work from your video. It was like circulating on.
Yeah, those stop motion videos like blew me up on Instagram. Like I have a couple that I did and different styles with my murals, and that's what got me my huge following on Instagram.
Yeah, they're really cool.
Stop motion.
Is that also what got you your like large client list?
I'm not sure. Like they trickle in through YouTube and Instagram, and I don't know, word of mouth or whatever. But I'd say maybe it's about half and half, like Instagram and YouTube, and just like trying to be authentic with my work and like have something to say with it, and like take my video skills and push it to a point where people will actually take notice was like my main goal.
Yeah, well, you've accomplished that so far.
Yeah.
Where's one of your favorite spots outside of the U.S.?
Colombia.
Oh, yeah.
Been there a bunch of times and got great friends over there and always have a good time. And it helps that like every time I went, I had a cool thing to do. And just like I have so many awesome stories and memories of Colombian adventures and first time doing stuff. Like I freaking, you know, obviously I met a girl there first time I went, and then I went back 6 months later to like hang out with her again, and we went on a little vacation together, and like she barely spoke English, I barely spoke Spanish, but there was other kind of language we were speaking, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, that's fun.
But yeah, like we went on this crazy adventure. It was her birthday, and she took me to like these awesome places, and we went to the beach, and then we went to this other spot called Parque Tayrona, which is like the northern beach of Colombia, and you have to hike like 2 hours into the jungle, and you're going like up and over these like rocks, and like you're deep in the jungle, and all of a sudden it bursts out into like the beach, and you can see like, oh, there's where we're going, and it cuts back into the jungle, and really quite wild. You're like eating coconuts and drinking the juice as you're going down the trail, and when you get there, it's just like tents set up on the beach there, and there's like one restaurant they have there you eat, and then you just hang out on the beach for the weekend and sleep there in the tent, and pretty cool. And then like we were trying to catch our flight back to Medellin the last day, and we were like, we don't have time to hike 2 hours back out of here, and we're hot and sweaty, and like it was fun to get here, but like going back is just a pain. And there was an option to ride a horse, and it's about 45 minutes instead of 2 hours. And she was like, let's just do the horses. Vamos a caballo. And I'm like, dude, I've never ridden a horse in my entire life. I'm in New Hampshire, like I just paint pictures. I don't do nothing about horses. And she's like, no, it'll be fine. She's run horses like a million times. I was like, it's easy. You just hop on, you kick them in the belly, and they go. You can hold on. And I'm like,
Bareback?
okay.
Too? Or did they have a?
What?
Was it bareback, or like they have a saddle? Or
They had a saddle.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had a saddle. So I had this beautiful female white horse with like gray spots and like a blonde mane. It was beautiful. And then, they helped me up on top of the saddle there. I hop on, and I got a satchel full of all of our stuff. And of course, I got my GoPro hanging out here to capture all this moment. And like, they tell me they go off. Like, there's a guy in front of us, and like Angie was behind me on her horse, and we start going, and like it's slow to start, and like, but the horse obviously knows the way. It's like trained to get there really fast. And as we're going along, it's getting a little faster and a little faster and a little faster. And like, Jesus Christ, I'm trying to hold on for my goddamn life. And then like I'm wearing shorts too, so I'm getting this rug burn on my legs, and then like the horse is going up and around these big rocks, and there's like this trail's going like this, and all of a sudden, as soon as there's like an opening, boom, that thing takes off like crazy. I'm going like light speed on this freaking horse, and I'm like trying to hold on for my life while also having the time of my life, like a roller coaster. And like it was crazy. I feel like I almost fell off at least 3 times. But I like caught myself, and I was like way past it. She was like I couldn't even see her or hear her or anything. I was like so far ahead of everybody. This horse was on a mission. She's like, I'm gonna take this white boy for a ride. Just went. And it was amazing. We got there, the horse was all sweaty, and we were like by the end we were just like this well-oiled machine. I got the gallop there and everything, and it was nuts. Yeah, awesome.
Oh, I would have died. I'm terrified of horses.
I thought it was so cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, speaking of horses, do you know the how about Thundercats or Brave Star? Do you even know the cartoon Brave Star? I think I'm a little bit older
I know
than you.
Thundercats though. I think they're making a movie. Or they're trying to. But
what did you have other than that? Like that, I guess that one's not necessarily a close call. Because what I wanted to ask is, when you're out doing a mural, because you're kind of just sometimes in another country or in other places, have you ever had like some pretty sketchy close calls when you're out working on?
like,
Well, I don't know, like something that you almost felt like, oh, I'm in a shitty situation. This isn't going to end up right.
yeah, I was in Peru. Actually, right after that horse story, I went to Peru because I was already down there, and these guys hit me up. They had this like house right in the middle of Lima. They do art stuff, and they do like residencies or whatever. And I was on my travel bug, and I was like, oh, I haven't seen Peru. I'll go to Lima. And I didn't have any projects or anything set up. I just kind of went and expecting to find walls when I got there, and I was really ill prepared, and I wasn't even the biggest fan of Lima. It's massive, it's incredibly loud, and there's so much traffic and cars, and we were like staying right in the middle of Lima in this like really, really old house. There's like holes in the roof and stuff, and like you just hear cars honking every 5 seconds, 24/7, and you just have to like put the pillow in your ears and try to go to sleep. And I remember I was like bumming around wherever I could to find a wall by myself, in the middle of Lima in these crazy locations and not really knowing that much Spanish. I picked up a little bit by this point, but not really that much, just enough to ask if I could paint on the wall. I went around a bunch of places and kept getting a bunch of no's, and then finally found this spot, and I couldn't even find the owner, but it didn't seem like anyone was there, or it was like abandoned, or not abandoned, but like wasn't in use. And I was like, screw it, I'm just gonna paint right here. So I went and next day gathered all my materials, and there was like, you had to go way across down here to get the specialty 94 spray paint, and way over here on this side to get like buff paint and stuff. And you know, I was on my way. I had all my materials in my backpack, had my camera equipment in there, and had like all the spray paint. I just got like $200 or $300 of spray paint, and on my way to get like I just needed like a gallon of buff to get a nice background on the wall there. And I was driving to a place called Maestro, which is like a Home Depot there. And I was in a taxi, and was like not in a very defensive or protective or smart state of mind. I was just so dead set on getting this wall painted, and I didn't even care how I got it or what happened to get it. And in like a clouded state of judgment, like I got to this Home Depot spot, and the taxi driver was like, hey, you know, if you're just going in and out, I'll wait for you right here. And I was like, yeah, okay, sure. I left all my stuff in the taxi, went into the store, and by the time I came out, he was long gone.
Shit.
So I lost like
everything, your passport and everything too?
No, I had my passport in my room, thank God.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a big learning experience where I was like, man, I was being a big dummy.
Your camera too?
My whole backpack, my sketchbook, my camera equipment, I had a GoPro and like a nice camera, and all that paint I just bought. Yeah, it's sucky.
What? Yeah. I do you feel? Are you brave? Like, I hate to say like, oh yeah, I'm so brave. But do you have are you brave? I guess what I'm trying to get at is like doing what you're doing, like just going out there on your own, like that takes some sort of bravery, or is it just
it's like half bravery, half stupidity, half naivety. It's like a trifecta of things there.
Now are you usually on like on good on alert just on things? I mean, you kind of have to be when you're in a whole.
I am now. I'm a little more smart about it. Like, I was even in LA, and I was painting a mural in like kind of a rough spot in downtown LA, and I had the homies with me, but we were on the other side of the street looking at the progress, and I left my camera on that side, and it's not even that big of a street, but we were on this side looking at the wall, and lo and behold, this white car pulls up. Shit. Guy jumps out, grabs my camera, tripod and everything, runs back to the car. As soon as I saw that, I fucking bolted after him across the street as fast as I could. He got in the car like 2 seconds before I could grab him, tried to punch the window out, and they sped off, like temp plates and everything, and lost the second camera. And I was like, fuck.
Now you hold on to, you keep a chain to your camera, like a wallet chain?
Like a 30-foot chain, like as I'm up on the lift and shit. I don't know, man. I'm just a little more cautious about where I keep my camera and who's around, and try and keep an eye on it as I'm painting. I've had pretty good luck since then.
Yeah. Well, it looks like we got about 5 more minutes on this. I kind of had to do some quick shading on this. I think that's what the dude looked like. I just Googled him real quick and got that in there. But while I'm going to try to get this finished up, let me throw a few more Sophie's choices at you. Conan O'Brien or Conan the Barbarian?
Barbarian.
Yeah. Are you into late night television at all, or?
I watched a couple clips on YouTube if I like the person, but no, I don't.
Yeah, that
Not
seems like
like,
the only way anyone watches late night television.
yeah, I don't think
now.
anyone like tunes in for that shit anymore, like live, like especially after COVID, like it's all like just on Skype like this, like the late night shows is literally doing what we're doing now, and
Yeah,
it's like it's kind of dumb, you know?
yeah.
Well, it's not dumb, but like it's
It's
going from like this super professional, like high class, like this is giant promotional material to just like you're on a Zoom call like us right now.
Yeah,
It's kind of funny.
yeah. It's definitely changed everything. I mean, everything, and I imagine it's going to be a little difficult to go back to. Even we would watch clips. I like watching just like their monologues. Sometimes they're pretty funny, but now when they got the audience back in there, I don't know. It doesn't seems. I don't know. That seems weird. That's a whole other. That's
Yeah,
a whole other thing. Did you have
yeah.
any uh, TV crushes when you were younger?
Like chicks on TV.
Yeah.
I there's one chick. She's in movies. Her name's Teresa Palmer. It's like a blondie. Man,
Oh, I don't
she's a
even know.
looker.
Yeah, I have no idea.
She was in that movie Warm Bodies. It's like a Romeo and Juliet
Oh,
zombie movie with Nicholas Holt.
oh yeah. I was thinking that's Aubrey Plaza, but that's a totally different zombie movie. I can't remember
Yeah,
what
no.
it's called.
Aubrey Plaza's cool too
Yeah, I like. Yeah, she's. If you like those,
though.
she's in
Halle
the
Berry's my
Bear movie.
ultimate Hollywood crush, I think.
Halle Berry is
Halle Berry can get it all day long.
awesome. What about on one of these calls or one of these DOD45 series I was doing with Cast One, he okay. I hear you, timer. He said he was into Blanche from the Golden Girls. Did you ever watch that? Did you ever watch the Golden Girls?
No.
Yeah, because that's a weird one. Oh, let me. If you got like 5 minutes, I can put some white
Yeah,
highlights
man.
in this. All right, I want to drop in some white highlights, and then I will go back and add some color and do a little more detailed in. But I got to try to keep these.
I
Things
think it's cool, man.
live. What about Duck Hunt or DuckTales? Gosh, I think I'm much older than you are, but
Duck Hunt is like with the
yeah, it's a
arcade, right?
Nintendo Duck Hunt. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, I'll go with that.
yeah, it was a great game. Uh, do you have any weird phobias?
Um, I don't know. I'm afraid of uh sometimes I get like imposter syndrome, so I'm afraid of like being a fraud sometimes, you know?
Sure.
But
Do you think that that's
no,
only an artist's fear, just like based off your personal opinion, or do you think everyone?
I think everyone experiences that at some point at least.
Yeah,
If they're in some type of intense fields, whether it be creative or financial or whatever, I don't know. I think it's a natural thing, and there's just so many people on earth that like it's tough not to compare yourself and feel like you're inferior or something. But you got to fight that and realize that like everyone's unique and everyone's got their own path, and it's you gotta trust the process and trust that you do have something unique to say, and it may not be like what this guy does or what that guy does, but that's why you do it the way you do, and you just gotta like you know be working hard all the time, and that's what builds confidence is mastery of your craft and knowing that you can do it, and practice leads to confidence, and that will start to like dwindle that inferiority feeling.
yeah, yeah, and it's all and also like yeah, I think sometimes maybe it can be a slightly more intense for artists just because artists are putting things out there to be judged. Not necessarily, you're not always putting something out to be judged, but once you do create artwork and put it out there, it's going to be judged no matter what. Like no one judges how you made a McDonald's hamburger, but for some reason, the
Yeah,
second you create something and put it out there, people will judge it. So, yeah, I think
I think it's meant to be judged,
yeah,
that's kind of why we make it. People like it or they don't, and there's gonna be people who like it or don't regardless. Like um I think there's nothing that you can make that everyone's gonna like it, and that's not even the point. So
right.
I think the more polarizing you can be, the better, almost.
Well,
But it's
oh,
scary to be polarizing.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, yeah. Let me. I'll just. I'll get this. I'll get us wrapped up here. I had this. Oh, I had this question I wanted to ask. How do you travel? Because do you travel light? Like, I imagine I'm picturing you like with like an Osprey travel backpack on your back, and like that's it, and you're just backpacking around. Is that how you?
I got. I have this backpack, just regular. Actually, this is the one this this is the one I got in Peru after my other one was taken in the taxi. I still have it, but
Sentimental value.
I have that from like my electronics and my camera equipment and my sketchbooks and pens and pencils or whatever, and then I have like a little carry-on suitcase for all my clothes and
But
you
you don't
know
travel with paint
other
at all, right?
stuff.
You get your paint when you get to location.
Yeah, I mean that just seems absolutely ridiculous to
Where
travel
do
with
you?
paint.
Yeah.
What about tips?
Yeah, I bring tips with me.
Where do you
Yeah.
source most of your paint and your tips?
Um, Sometimes I'll buy it online and ship it to the location before I get there,
Mm-hmm.
and sometimes there'll be like a local shop. Um, Depends on crunch time, what's available. It fluctuates.
Is that something you'll need to know before you go to, like when you went to Peru? Did you know that there was a shop where you'd be able to get your
No, I didn't
gear?
know. I was still kind of a noob back then.
Oh, okay.
And like I said, I didn't have any projects lined up or anything. I was just flying by the seat of my pants, um,
Has that
which
gone away?
is
Has that sort of that
well, now I'm like, I was still an amateur back then,
yeah.
kind of, I'm like way more professional now. And a lot of the times, the only, the only times I'm painting a mural is like when I'm doing a commission.
Yeah.
And I get a lot of mural commissions these days that keeps me busy and well fed. And that's kind of like, I don't really do a lot of big personal murals anymore, which I'm excited to start again because in August this year, like coming up really soon, I'm doing a big personal mural in Los Angeles. I'm doing a big, and then I'm doing like one of my biggest murals yet in uh, Illinois, in a little city called Marion, little town, and that'll be like on the back of a civic center. It's like 175 feet long. It's like up on the top third of the back of the building. It's gonna be awesome.
Yeah,
And
that's
then
dope.
I'm going to Chicago. I'm gonna collaborate with a YouTuber there, a couple YouTubers there, and then I'm gonna paint a big wall in Chicago, like another personal piece. So I'm excited about that. Then I'm going to my buddy's wedding. Gonna jet home to New Hampshire real quick, see my newborn nephew, and then I'm going to Florida to paint another restaurant down there for another commission. So
Oh,
tons of
good for
back-to-back
you,
stuff
man.
going on.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, let me
And
ask you just. Oh, go ahead.
but in October, I'm doing my biggest mural like project, like budget wise. Yeah, like I was a finalist for this project in Oklahoma for a skate park,
Oh,
and
cool.
5 finalists, and we all had to submit our proposals and our drawings and a whole packet of why we're the best and why they should pick us. And we're all on like a Zoom call together. And I had just finished up a mural at Venice Beach for Animal Kingdom, and I flew back or rushed back home. Or I was staying at my buddy's house in LA, and then jumped on the computer, and I was like, I got there like halfway through the third guy's presentation, and I was fourth in line, and I got there just in time. And I attended my packet a few days before, and I was ready to go. And I had a nice presentation, and I was telling them all about how I work and what I do, where I'm from, and making them laugh a couple times and having like a conversation with them. And I thought I did really well, and they really liked my drawing. And then the final person after me, the fifth in line, she just like blew me out of the water, and I was like, oh man, she was like super professional, like a way different style of presenting. Like, you know, it was kind of like a almost like a lecture where she would just like next slide, this is this is that. Um, but her qualifications were like through the roof, man. And I was like, well, they're gonna pick her, and did my best, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of chalked it up as a loss. And then a couple weeks later, I got a phone call, and they said, "Hey, Kiptoe, we just want to say congratulations. You were the winner for the Enid Skate
Oh,
Park mural. We're so excited to have you here." And I was like, "Oh, fuck yeah!" And they said, like, it was a completely unanimous decision. Like, everyone completely loved my rendering, and they tried to pick a second place just for like contingency in case something happened, but they couldn't even decide on the second place because I was so far ahead of everybody.
That's awesome.
So I was like, hell yeah. So it's like my biggest budget mural yet. They got a huge budget for it, and it's gonna be a really cool project, and I'm excited to tackle that in October.
Does your approach to that have is it different, or is it you go into that just the same way you've gone into everything?
Yeah, it's all the same. It's all the
Yeah.
same, just more money.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, let me ask you these two final questions. Do you have a favorite a favorite artist or favorite graffiti artist, favorite muralist, or just favorite visual artist?
I'll pick one.
I mean, or a few, or do you have like favorite people that you really are enthused to see what they're coming out with, or?
Yeah, I mean, I've always really liked Aries from Spain, ARYZ. He's like one of the all-time top dogs. Um, I really like David Cho, just more of his like philosophy on life and art. He's kind of like a wild man, but he's like tamed down a lot, and he's like done a lot for, you know, he's working a lot on like mental health for artists and people in general. He's got this show on FX, and I was there in 2017 when he did the real thing in person with this huge building in the middle of Koreatown, and turned it into this crazy Dr. Seuss land, and super inspiring. And if I had to pick a third guy, um, probably do like a movie director or something. I don't know, maybe like Chris Nolan or something.
Yeah, he's a great movie director.
Yeah.
What is there a piece out there in the what is a piece out there that you've done that is like one of your all-time favorites, like your
One of my favorites that's still clinging around this day is the Three Saints that I did in 2017. It's got the lion and the knight and the eagle guy, and that was like a breakthrough piece for me, and it really kind of opened up my work to a new realm of possibilities and conceptual things that I could build on top of, and I was really proud of it. It was like one of my biggest pieces in LA at the time, and it's like my first time doing like a festival where they paid for all the paint and got me a lift and everything, and felt like a real mural artist. And there's a whole bunch of different things that like that was like a part of that project that made it special for me. And then, you know, the outcome, I still want to do stuff with those Three Saints characters and flesh them out even more and make cool stories and do comic books, or just keep painting them on walls and do different compositions with them.
That's something we might see in the future.
Yeah.
Yeah. What is there a piece out there that you wish would get buffed?
I've had a bunch of work buffed already, so you know, I got a bunch in the grave already. I don't want any more in the grave.
Yeah, how do you go about that if someone tags over it or paints over it?
I mean, the Three Saints sub has been bombed a bunch of times. I've had to fix it like 5 times. I'm trying to keep it as clean as best I can whenever I'm in LA.
Yeah, that's frustrating, but part of the gig, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of inevitable, but
did you ever bomb over? Did you ever, when you were younger, doing your pieces, were you going over anyone's work?
no, I just hit the rival school and shit. Go to their football fields, bomb shit on the bleachers.
Yeah.
But no, I don't try and fuck with other people's work. And like, there's like, you know, there's like a rule: if you're going over someone's work, you got to cover the whole thing.
Yeah.
You gotta try and do it, bigger and better. And when I was coming up, if I had to paint over someone's work, I stuck to that rule of going bigger and better and covering the whole thing and making it look nice and making it worth it. So, that's kind of like the unspoken rule when you're doing stuff.
Yeah, I never heard that. I like that though. That's awesome. Well, so I guess to close out, what's in your future? First of all, where do you like people keeping like seeing what you're up to via your YouTube or?
Yeah, my YouTube is like my baby. I put insane amount of work into that, and it's like these full-on fleshed out journeys of all my work, and I really appreciate my viewers that are there, but it can be finicky sometimes and frustrating, and so if you want a quick fix, Instagram is the second best place to go. Kiptoe1, number one, and I think those are like my two hot tickets.
And your website?
Oh yeah, you can buy some merch. I got my website, Kiptoe.com. I got hoodies, shirts. I just put up a long sleeve. I got prints. I got sticker packs, all sorts of cool stuff.
Yeah, I'm gonna hit that up after we finish here. I was eyeballing it.
Cool.
Adrienne, is there any follow-up questions that I may have missed?
I don't think so. No.
I'm going to get into this later at another time, and I'd like to put a little bit of color on there. And
it looks sick. I love he's holding a spray can. He's got detail. Arnie on the back, and
yeah, I think I was going to turn this into a dang can. I just wanted to double check. I'll look up their graphic. I remember seeing it. But yeah, I'll give it a little more detail. This is just what I can pull off in 45
awesome,
minutes. Well, we went a little bit over.
I like the turn of the octopus hand.
Yeah.
Really got that turn in there.
Yeah,
those are hard to
do.
do.
Kind of my thing. I like to do octopus tentacles. People always ask why, and I have some bullshit story to it. But
don't we all? All bullshit.
What do you have? Is there anything coming up that you want to promote or just kind
of? I got some sick ass videos coming out soon. I'm working on one right now. I was working all night. I do these once in a while. I'll do these like silly character driven videos where I dress up as these silly characters and put on a dumb accent and have a lot of fun and do like comedy bits and stuff. So I've been trying that out lately, and it's been getting a really good response from my fans. So I'm working on another one right now, and that should be coming out pretty soon. So
was that something you posted? The mob, some like mob.
Oh yeah,
mob characters thing? That's what you're doing. That's awesome, and that's something that you're just doing for fun. I mean, having a YouTube channel, you can use that. I mean, it gets.
Yeah, I mean, I gotta do some for my soul.
Yeah.
And I'm a filmmaker, and this kind of like feeds my flame. And it's not just me being a mob boss. Like it has a point to the video. It's like I'm trying to like find the best art critic in the world to critique my work as I'm going, so I get better. And I get to go to this mob boss, and he's got a guy, and he comes to my studio and all that stuff. So yeah.
That's awesome. You got creativity just always oozing out of you. But thanks for Kiptoe. Thank you so much for joining us on the DOD45 series. It was really cool talking with you. I'm a big fan of your work. You're super talented, and I look forward to seeing what you have coming up out of the future. So thank you for joining us.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Kiptoe, thank you again for joining us on DOD45. I look forward to seeing more of your murals and animations in the near future. Head over to Kiptoe.com to check out his merch and more of his work. And also follow him on YouTube and Instagram to be able to see all of his awesome videos. If you'd like to learn more about me and my art, head over to ArtByTai.com. That's ArtByTai. And keep your grubby eyes off of my Twitter at ArtByTai. I am serious. I don't want you anywhere near it. Who fucking winks these days? Yes, I just winked. Oh, I'm sorry. I lost my train of thought. Well, I don't know. Thanks again to Kiptoe. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being a supporter of DOD45. I really appreciate it. Thank you, everybody. Cheers.
There are thoughts in my head that take place in my bed, and I don't have to lie, but I do that instead. Things that need to be said, poison in my brain like lead.
Thanks for watching this episode of DOD45. I hope that you enjoyed yourself. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. I don't want you to ever miss an episode. Also, stick around my YouTube page for a bit. There's a whole array of videos to enjoy, including time-lapse videos, drawing tutorials, and live streams. It's like an amusement park. Now click that subscribe button and go watch another episode of DOD45. Cheers.